On October 28, 2015, former Olympic athlete Yuliya Balykina went missing. The police suspected murder. They were right. Who killed her and why? Was it money or was it jealousy? Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. This is the violent murder of former Olympian Yuliya Balykina. Wanna know what happened? Let's get started. Yuliya Vladimirovna Balykina was born on April 12, 1984 in Bulgan, Mongolia. She was an only child. As a little girl, Yuliya and her family moved to Zaporozhye in Ukraine. She was described as kind, sympathetic. She had a strong spirit. She was modest but straightforward. At the age of 18, Yuliya entered sports, athletics in Zaporozhye. In the beginning, her coach wasn't very impressed, but Yuliya worked really hard and ended up catching up with her peers. But eventually her coach left to train Iranian athletes. To keep her sports dream, she had to quit the Ukrainian team and move. Her coach helped her and asked a friend who lived and coached the sprint team in Minsk to take her in. So Yuliya moved to Belarus. There she met a Belarus coach named Nikolai, whom she married and later divorced because the two didn't get along. Yuliya was champion of Belarus several times. In 2012, Yuliya lived the dream of many athletes. She went to the 2012 London Olympics, where she competed in the 100 meters and the team's relay. On June 11, 2013, Yuliya tested positive for an illegal substance and she was banned for 2 years, so Yuliya decided to end her career. In 2014, she got a job at the Dynamo Sports Club as a coach. She taught children sports skills. She also worked part-time as a flower delivery carrier. On October 28, 2015, Yuliya checked out of work and she was never seen alive again. Authorities, her friends, and family searched for Yuliya all over the place. The police didn't believe it was a missing persons case. The police believed she was murdered, and so did her friends. Her friends believed her ex-boyfriend Dmitry V had killed her, and he actually planned it. Before Yuliya went missing, she told her friend Dmitry had threatened her if she left him, and that he would do something to her. Yuliya actually felt sorry for him, and she never cut ties completely. Dmitry was born in Ukraine. He moved to Russia with his family where he received citizenship. After his parents died, he moved to Belarus with his uncle and aunt. He was a construction worker. While living in Russia, Dmitry had a baby, but the couple split. Dmitry's friends described him as a windy guy. He didn't have a permanent job and he used drugs. Yuliya and Dmitry met online. Her mother, for some reason, didn't like him. Others stated at the beginning the relationship was good. They got along well. The two of them shared an apartment, which Yuliya's parents helped her to buy. Yuliya was actually the main breadwinner of the couple. The relationship was good until they started repairing the apartment. According to Yuliya's father, he visited Yuliya in Belarus, and the two of them traveled to Ukraine for vacation. Dmitry was in charge of making the repairing, so they left him $150. When Yuliya returned, the repairs weren't done and $300 were missing. Yuliya had enough, so she broke up with him. But still, they lived together. Yuliya felt sorry for him and didn't cut ties with him at all. Yuliya, who wanted to have a family, children, got fed up with Dmitry, who didn't contribute. Her mother told her not to trust him or feel sorry for him. He wasted money, but told Yuliya he lent it to his friends. After Yuliya was reported missing, the police arrived at the apartment. Dmitry was taken to the station where he eventually confessed killing Yuliya. He stated he wasn't high on drugs during the killing. He only bought Mary J when he could afford it. Even though he confessed killing Yuliya, he stated he didn't remember where the body was. The police searched the car and the apartment and found evidence which indicated a murder had been committed. On November 16, 2015, a body was found in a wooded area near the capital of Minsk. The body was wrapped in plastic film and covered with moss to conceal it. The body belonged to 31-year-old Yuliya Balykina. While in court, Dmitry confessed how the killing unfolded. He stated he arrived at the apartment at 6:00 p.m. to help with the renovations. They were renovating the bathroom, and in that bathroom, Yuliya died. He started working on the ceiling, but he damaged the ceiling canvas. Yuliya was mad, but he told her everything was fine, and she calmed down. Then Yuliya called someone, and when she hung up the phone, she returned to the bathroom and scolded him. He then stated he struck Yuliya several times with a hammer. He didn't remember how many times. She fell on her side, and he didn't remember if he continued to attack her with the hammer. He then realized what he had done. He took his work clothes off and fled the apartment, leaving Yuliya lying in the bathroom floor, dying. He stated he didn't call an ambulance because he was scared. He took Yuliya's car to run away even though he didn't have a driver's license. He drove to charge money on his phone. He called a friend to have a drink, but that didn't work out. He went to the railway station and sat there. At 2 in the morning, he returned to the apartment and Yuliya was dead. He wrapped Yuliya's body with plastic film. He carried her into the corridor. He washed the bathroom because there was a lot of blood. He took all of the jewelry and tried to make it look like she had left. Then he threw the bucket and cloth he used into the garbage. He washed the hammer and put it on the balcony. He drove the car under the entrance. He put his bloody things in it, which he then threw away. He put Yuliya's corpse into the trunk. He drove and then left the car near Smolovicton station. He boarded the train and returned to Minsk. The next day, he went to work. He then returned to the location where he left the car. He drove around, then stopped at Starina, pulled Yuliya's corpse out of the trunk and took it to the forest and put brushwood and moss to hide it. He then went to the gas station and drank coffee. He went to Zodino and left the car. When he returned to the apartment, Yuliya had already been reported missing. He was taken into custody, confessed. He was found guilty and sentenced to 23 years in prison. For some, the motive was jealousy, and for others, it was because of money. Yuliya's parents were left devastated. Her friends believed Dmitry had an accomplice. Yuliya's mother had a dream. She had lost Yuliya. She was then told Yuliya was missing.